You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Defiance After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Defiance After Show.
Hey there, Defiance fans. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Defiance After Show. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 4, Beasts of Burden. I am Matt Lieberman, and finally, the whole panel is here for the first episode this season. Wow. Thank you for bearing with us. Jesse Klein is here.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Scott Moore is here. Nando Velasquez is here.
I'm here.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm so stoked to talk about this episode with you. We got a lot of new information, or some new information. There was some death, there was some love, there was some hate, and we got a couple serious beatdowns and a burning. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, it's just a Thursday.
Yeah.
Just your average Thursday.
Just your average Thursday on Defiance.
Absolutely. Do you think that they still call it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or are they
apparently
different names
I don't know.
of the days now?
Maybe if you're Cast-a-fan, because I noticed that instead of saying years,
yeah,
used at different times.
Yeah,
I can't
Vigo.
Vigo.
Yeah.
Was it Vigo or is that?
Yeah, it was Vigo.
So it's the same word as
Vigo is the villain from Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it was a.
I think it's probably named after Earth President Viggo Mortensen.
Sure,
of course.
In 2040.
Yeah.
20. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's not right. Because doesn't it take place?
It doesn't
Oh
take
wait,
place.
no.
It takes place in like what 2046.
Yeah,
right?
so he might have been the last Earth president
Right.
before their current one.
Yeah.
Although
They decided to name years after him, or
Yeah.
a measurement of time after him.
Although-
He became the Grand Emperor of the entire planet.
the hilarious thing, though, is, the Earth Republic is supposedly based in New York, but they're not covering the whole Earth. Jesse, you were browsing the Something Awful forums.
Well, that's like the Super Bowl. That's like the World Series being only in the U.S., but the World Cup really covering
Exactly.
the Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse, you were on the Something Awful forums, and they were talking about some things that were on the SyFy website about what else is going on around the world of Defiance.
Yeah, specifically in Europe, apparently Germany is a bunch of warring factions in a jungle.
Four warring jungle factions now.
That are being attacked by living plants, or triffids, if you would believe so. France is a frozen tundra that is a constant war against a UI that is sending bots after them.
Or a UI or an AI?
Or AI.
Yeah,
AI.
not a
Probably
user
AI.
interface.
No. An AI.
We're constantly warring against this buttonless interface.
England is, of course, under a totalitarian regime.
Of course, as always.
As it
I
always
was
is.
saying the Queen is still there.
Yeah. And then Scotland specifically is behind force field, and in parentheses, it was techno
wizard.
Techno wizard. Yeah.
Yeah. So some kind of techno wizard is keeping Scotland under a McDome.
A McDome.
A McDome.
And don't forget, we all have
makes
beachfront
sense.
property here in Angel Arc.
That's
So
right.
That's the most important.
That's the most important thing I know.
Yes.
We lucked out.
Yeah.
Beachfront
Yeah.
property.
Or we have under the sea under the sea property for some of us.
for some of us,
Yeah.
me in the valley.
Anyone who lives west of La Brea is just doomed.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start breaking down this episode. We open with this land coach attack. Pottinger is bringing these new advanced mining technologies into Defiance in an attempt to get at the hard deposits deep within Defiance that could very well cause the entire town to collapse in on itself. But he doesn't care because he's greedy. He's the E-Rep.
He's the
just-
E-Rep, yeah.
Yeah, they're just draining everything.
Just take it.
Yeah, they just want to take it all.
Oh,
Yeah. And he's recording one of his many vlogs because Pottinger is basically the modern YouTuber. They've got like the last remaining camcorder in existence, and he's taping lots of propaganda. He's concerned about his good side or his bad side. And Berlin,
his right side is his better side.
This is his better side.
Yeah.
This is his more
Side.
personable side.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, unlike his left side, which Berlin insists on shooting because it's more down to earth. It's grounded. He's got some terraformed landscape in the background.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect.
Full disclosure, I missed this part because
all right.
the Angel Arc traffic is still bad now.
It's
so-
still awful until all those cars fall into the sea.
I know. So I'll just have to do the nod and smile for a few minutes until we get caught up to
It's
where
okay,
I was.
pal. We'll get you caught up.
I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they get attacked by these raiders, and I'm really pleased by the look of the raiders.
They
'cause
were real
it's
cool looking.
appropriately Road Warrior-ish.
Yeah.
The hockey mask with all the shotgun shells on it, I thought was dope. And it was one of our two brothers that we've been following all season long.
Joseph.
Joseph is the rabble rouser behind this, and they kill a bunch of E-Rep. They try to steal all the goodies, all the equipment. But unfortunately, they lose two of their brothers in the process.
And then Joseph goes a little rogue and decides to...
Decides to strip Pottinger and piss all over him.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there an option for that in the video game?
As far as I know,
Yeah.
there has not been a piss on people expansion.
Oh,
We
okay.
need to have that.
There's
That should be the
no-
next
We
thing they
should talk to a
do.
There's
developer.
no
We
strip
should.
and piss taunt.
No, okay, just checking. But the hand job was the next update, right?
Hand
the
jobs
is
are
the
definitely in the
Prison
next
hand
up.
job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just checking.
Yeah.
That'll be the next one, then.
I was just
Okay.
I was really confused because it was like there was no unzipping sound.
yeah.
Like there like
It means he just
was
kind of
just-
pulled it out.
Jesse, were you
He just
disappointed?
pulled it out.
Were you disappointed?
I didn't know what was happening and I was like, "Oh, did he just have it out the entire time?"
I just pictured a bottle of water, like just.
Yeah,
I just pictured
exactly.
a bottle
He just-
of water where I couldn't see anything.
Just
and
had
he
the
No,
was
it's
doing
a-
it.
elastic,
it's a
just
bu-
a little cover.
It's
an
a
elastic.
button fly. It's a button fly.
or like a future zipper
Yeah, that's
that
what
we
I'm
just
saying.
don't know
right.
about the
That's saying
technology.
metal's
Exactly.
expensive and rare, so
Yeah.
forget all that.
Hey
Just probably
man,
at a flap.
Just have a little
we have
flap,
glowing
exactly.
blue knives. Why not glowing blue zippers that make no sound?
It
and
makes sense.
elastic, you
Yeah.
can't go wrong with elastic.
That's true. Okay.
Can't go wrong.
It's
Alright.
true.
That's canon now, folks.
Listen, Nando's laughing, but you want a decent defense from the elements against your area.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
especially in Defiance world.
Yes.
yes.
Absolutely.
There are just hand
a
jobs
lot-
going off
all
every
the time,
time.
everywhere, every
If
direction.
you're trying to maintain celibacy,
Right,
you
you
need
can't.
blue glowing zippers.
You constantly have to be swatting away hand
Ew,
jobs.
they're coming out of
They're
everywhere.
coming out of the woodwork.
Absolutely.
Business
Okay.
deals
Dangerous.
being done left
Dangerous.
and right.
I
Dangerous.
believe we have totally covered this part of the show.
I don't know if that's possible.
Never.
Yeah.
Let's give it another 30 minutes. If it feels wrong,
Then
then
we'll
we'll
Just
move on.
it's no. Just
Yeah.
back away.
So
I bet that's what Yule said when she was
yeah.
doing the prison hand job. Never mind.
Pottinger is PO'd obviously about this, and he wants some vengeance. So we go back to town, and Amanda and Nolan just knocking the boots like everything's fine and dandy, which like. They still have not had the moment where she basically says, "So you used to chup my sister, right? You used to guac my sister. You used to jack my sister.
The very sister, she's still wearing black with the veil
With the veil.
for.
Yeah.
and then she takes it off for Nolan.
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
And neither of them are addressing that this is something that they wanted for a long time. They're not talking about it. They're just kind of enjoying each other.
Seems unhealthy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, she works at a.
at a brothel.
At a brothel.
And she's
No.
about to.
Nothing
She's telling
unhealthy.
him they
No,
can't
nothing
have
unhealthy.
sex
And
right now
Adreno
because she needs to
addiction.
go have sex with strangers.
Yeah.
Well, no, she had a meeting. I really wanted
Yeah.
to see the brothel. Like she was like
The brothel meeting?
She was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I have a big meeting coming up," and it
Gotta
wasn't
talk about budget stuff.
and it wasn't a John. I think it was like a big meeting with the brothel. I want to see.
I like to see the
wanna
meeting.
the
A
ins and outs.
table. Maybe they have someone on
Yeah.
space phone.
Yeah.
Like calling in.
Yeah,
Conference
who's-
call line.
Who's bringing our future donuts to this
yes,
meeting?
They have a
Yeah.
chart and sign just showing their profit margin.
Right,
a
that's
chore wheel,
Chore wheel. Yeah,
for
totally.
lack of a
a
better
whore wheel.
For lack of a better word or phrase, I want to see the ins and outs of this future brothel.
Oh yeah,
Don't come on.
there was no better word or
no
phrase.
other.
There was a definite lack.
There was some lack.
Yeah. In any case,
is that a future swear word?
there was a lack.
It was
He's
no.
lacking-
A lack was not there.
He was lacking
No,
Rosewater.
he's got a different business.
Okay.
All right. No, he was jecking, chupping, or guacking Rosewater.
Delicious
Yeah.
guacamole.
I know. It's like
Yeah.
walk.
So, in any case, Nolan is summoned to handle this investigation, and we find out, via Rafe McCauley coming into his house and seeing a bunch of new crates and a red mask. That Joseph has just decided he's going to stash all this fun stuff at good old Uncle Rafe's house and basically implicate him.
Yeah, they just fell off the E-Rep truck.
It's exactly what you wanted, Uncle Rafe. We're doing it. And he's like, when did I ever ask you to kill people and implicate me in murder and theft, you big dummy? So that's my
Not those
Rafe
words.
impression.
Yeah.
Close.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Joseph is just
was
terrible. Like he's real bad. Like he's even bad at being
He's bad at being bad.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's bad
Well,
at being
he's
bad.
terrible at being bad.
He's
awkward.
He's a real failure.
He wasn't great at
Poor
being
guy.
good either, actually. So in all fairness,
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
He's kind of a screw up.
He's really good at screwing up.
But Pottinger wants Nolan to go scour the Badlands in search of these raiders, and Nolan's like, that's a waste of time. We need an army to cover all that ground. I'm supposed to, I'm a great tracker. I'm a great tracker because I know I'm not going to waste my time busting my ass, humping all across the, fornicating across the Great Divide, as we heard in that song a couple episodes ago. He needs to be here fornicating across
with Amanda.
Defiance.
Right.
no,
Yes.
fornicating across Rosewater's Great Divide.
Yes, that's true. Well, it's not. I mean, I doubt the divide is that. I mean,
Why-
not objectively great.
why
I mean,
travel
distance.
500 clicks to find these raiders when he can just click away at Amanda?
Exactly.
There you go.
Or
Totally.
wait for a lead. For example, Berlin captured Joseph's face on camera again.
Yeah.
Dummy.
Joseph, why are you taking that mask off? Number one,
Come on,
sweet
Joseph.
mask.
That's like 101.
Well,
when
in
it
his
comes to,
defense, he did try to
bad.
smash the camera.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but okay. He's very selective with his shooting because he shoots the ERAP soldiers, but he lets Berlin and Pottinger live.
No reason.
No reason to do that. If
Well,
he,
so he can give him a golden shower.
that's after the golden shower.
Then
Yeah, I
she
could have
is.
done that.
That's the ultimate, insult. Is like, hey man, I'm gonna piss on you, let you think that you live, and then I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna shoot you.
Okay.
That's a double insult.
I literally cannot think of a worse insult than that.
And then you pee on him again.
I'm trying to think
Just
of
because you could.
I'm trying to think of something meaner that you could do to something, and I can't. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah, he should have.
Well, actually, no. The one thing you could do that would be meaner is make him beg for the piss.
Oh.
Then you piss on him.
Make him
Then
beg
you
for
walk
it.
away
Yeah.
thinking that he's
This
alive.
is a dark
Then you
show.
shoot him.
This is a really dark
Yes,
show.
it is.
For 8
It
o'clock,
is.
this
It
is
is
No,
a
I
dark
meant our
show.
podcast.
Oh, well, the
show.
show itself is a lot darker this year. A lot
Yes.
darker.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
We're
Yeah.
just matching
darkness.
energies, man. We're just
Yeah.
matching the energies this
right.
show's putting
Yeah.
out. dude.
So-
Wow. It's really their fault.
Doc Yule has been reinstated as town doctor, and Nolan has this moment where he's like, how'd you get out of that Camp Reverie there? And she's like, look, if you think it's because I said something about your little godling here, I didn't. Which, I mean, she didn't say much, but she did talk about
She
it.
did talk.
yeah.
Yeah, she is a liar.
No, she's not this innocent over here.
No, she's far from it, in fact.
Yeah.
And they notice some goulanite on a footprint on the guy's body, and Tommy especially notices it. And Nolan, in classic Nolan fashion, wipes away evidence when it's convenient.
Yes.
Now, last season, Tommy would have stood for that kind of thing.
Yes.
He would have said something, but he would have ultimately bitten his tongue.
Yeah.
Now,
The new Tommy
new Tommy,
doesn't do it. 2.0.
he's not going to
Yeah.
take it.
Constantly armed new Tommy.
Constantly
Well, I think
armed, always wearing black new Tommy.
Tommy has something to prove. He wants to prove himself. He was sheriff. He kind of got redeputized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got demoted.
Yeah, he got
Did.
demoted and redeputized. So of course he definitely feels like he sees a clue. He's on it.
Well,
Yeah,
and
Scooby-Doo,
he has the confidence too, because of that power, like that he didn't have last season. That now he has this confidence.
I'd also
not putting up with it anymore.
I'd also say that I'm sure on some level Tommy blames Nolan for the E-Rep being there in the first place
Yeah.
because Nolan going off half-cocked and shooting that Casty kid not unprovoked, but improperly last season led to the collapse of Amanda's leadership, which led to the E-Rep being there. Ultimately, on some level, a lot of the turmoil in this town is on his hands.
Also, I think Tommy...
And he never apologized.
Well, and then one other thing that we should bring up, obviously he's dating Berlin, so
Yeah,
you figure if
that's what I'm
anything,
saying.
he's gonna want to try and figure out who did this to Berlin.
And that's
Tommy.
true. And he's going to
So he's gotta prove that too.
side with them. Yeah.
I don't want to forget one great line that Yule said when Nolan asked how'd she get out, and she claimed it was her raw sex appeal. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe it.
I
mean,
believe
come
it
on.
too.
I believe it.
Hey man,
Man, look at that.
She has so much sex appeal that
does.
Datak Tar tried to have her give him a hand job while
Yes.
she was asleep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
he just wanted to be that.
She was
close
smoking
to her.
hot
She is.
asleep. She was
Listen,
yeah.
man.
I mean, she turned me straight. I'm just saying. She's that hot. That's how much sex appeal she has.
She's got a lot.
That's
got a lot
that's
there.
Raw. That's
mean,
not
that's-
filtered.
no,
raw.
that is.
Unfiltered. All right.
Speaking of great divides.
All right. So moving on from there, obviously Nolan heads over to Rafe's and he goes to confront Rafe about Joseph, and Joseph gets up behind him with this gun. And
there was a commercial break. And it was like, do we really know? Can we really guess what's going to happen when the commercial break comes back?
yeah, Nolan spins around, takes the gun, and is like, "Stop it!"
Yeah.
Well, first, Raph is like, go easy on him.
Rafe's like, "Go easy on
Or
him."
Raven's like, go easy on him. He's my godson. And Joseph's like, what? I'm the one with the gun to the back of his head.
And then he does that.
Kaboom.
That was the most predictable commercial break
Yeah.
It was.
start ever.
No, I thought Nolan was gonna die. I thought for
Really?
sure.
Obviously.
Get
I
out of
thought
here.
for sure with the way they
Get out of
here. Yeah.
I thought he was just gonna die.
You
from
were just
this
hoping
guy.
someone would get pissed on
No,
again.
no, no,
That's
no.
what you were doing.
They're built.
So nice.
I thought they were building Joseph up to be the new protagonist
Oh.
of
I
this
thought
show.
so. Yeah, he's so likable.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Ugh. No. So, he's about to walk out the door with Joseph when Rafe, kind of makes a plea. He's like, "Look, man, I could have fought for my mines, but I didn't. Why? I shot a bunch of E-Rep soldiers to protect your daughter."
Yeah.
And Nolan has this moment where he's like, "Fine."
Big guilt trip.
Big guilt trip.
It was like my dad over there
Yeah,
on the guilt trip.
seriously. Well, Rafe is a father,
Yeah.
So Nolan, he lets Joseph go, and he says, "Get him on a land coach immediately." And he doesn't turn back around. He just walks right out that door. He's pissed, but he knows when he's been licked. He knows that he owes Rafe, and that I think hopefully this kind of repays that debt. Unfortunately, however, this leaves Joseph free to go after Berlin and try to stop her from recovering all of the video data.
Because somehow he knew that Berlin was working on the hard drive.
Well, Nolan mentioned it.
Slipped
Oh, he
it.
did?
Was like-
Okay.
he said that.
He's like, "You have to
they
get
were-
out of here because she's going to find out."
They've
That's
got
right.
the hard
Thank you.
drive, and they're gonna figure it out. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also get this scene between Tommy and Berlin where she talks about his love for Arissa, where she says, like, "I have eyes, and the way that you look at her and the way she looks at you." And he's like, "Listen, if I had my way, I'd want both of these jokers on a land coach out of town as soon as possible. I'm all yours, baby. I don't care.
Come on, baby. I didn't like that, baby. Come
I'm
on.
over her.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
means
like that,
nothing
like
to
that,
me
baby.
now.
Come on.
Yeah.
You do a really
I would've
good
got eyes
Berlin
for you.
impression, by the way.
Thank you.
Your Berlin impression
It is.
spot on.
I mean, if my eyes were closed, I would have thought it was.
I have eyes,
Oh,
Achtung.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It is.
Trying to
Achtung,
come-
baby.
Yeah, so it's just. Well.
Achtung,
Listen.
Tommy.
Achtung, Tommy.
Listen, you two, let's get back on board.
By the way, we should mention Beasts of Burden. I want to know this because when I was here for episode 1, maybe it's just me. When I was here for episode 1 and the episode was called Ghost in the Machine,
Yeah.
we didn't really talk too much about it because I think, but it's a Police album.
Yeah.
And this is Beats of Burden, which is a very well-known Rolling Stones song. So I did some searching for the other 2 episodes. Episode 2 apparently is a song not from a popular group that I'm
the
familiar
opposite
with.
of Hallelujah.
Yeah, that is a song. I couldn't find anything for the chord and the axe, but if anyone knows what's going on with the episode titles, what the writers are trying to do, I'm predicting that maybe these are songs that Alec would have in his record store.
Tar Tracks.
Yeah, Tar Tracks. These would be stuff for Tar
Could be.
Tracks.
I appreciate that idea.
So, but
That's a
I
good
just
one.
think it's worth bringing up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, absolutely, because
Anyway.
there is a reason behind it.
yeah,
why they're
since,
picking
since
this
I brought
song.
up, since we did the whole YouTube.
Yeah. So, you know, Rafe comes busting into his home, trying to get Joseph on a land coach, only to discover Joseph's gone. He goes to kidnap Berlin. He does the same put in the gun to the
silly,
head.
stupid thing again.
And it's just like,
If it doesn't work,
Right.
fix it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. If it ain't broken, don't
how
fix
about
it. If it
instead
doesn't
of
work,
just
fix it.
pointing the gun at her, you pistol whip immediately?
Or stand a few feet behind her.
Or have her strip and then just take out your Johnson without zipping down
And pee on her.
her. Because that works too, apparently.
That's his thing.
That
man.
works more.
He's really into peeing on
Yeah.
her.
Each their own.
Yeah, it's true. Hey,
Yeah.
we don't
Whatever.
judge
Yeah.
here at the
And-
Defiance
And,
Podcast.
and we forgot to say that when they were attacking that caravan, they almost got beat by those two anyway. Like Pottinger slams the door into his face.
Yeah.
And like they put up quite a fight for unarmed people that weren't supposed to put up much of a fight.
Well, it just shows how green Joseph is when
Yeah.
it comes to that kind of stuff.
Super green.
Terrible.
I would like to add that, I don't know, I didn't notice this until she took her hat off, but when Berlin takes her hat off, she's kind of hot.
Oh, yeah.
She's super
She was hot. She's hot with the uniform, but I was like, she looked different to me for
She's
some
a
reason.
cutie.
Yeah.
She's a
cutie patootie.
Okay.
That's
That's what
why Tommy's with her.
I get that. I
Put her
can
in
get
a
that.
Now you get it now.
So in any case, you know, he kidnaps Berlin, and now you know, Nolan has to find her. He has to go back on his word. He just kind of brought all the stuff into the jailhouse, into the law keeper's office, and just made it sound like he found it somewhere, when in fact that's not the case. Tommy tells Pottinger that it was Goulanite, and he kind of double crosses Nolan. And Nolan has to kind of weasel his way out of it. Now that he has Berlin, there's no weaseling left to do. He's got to go. He's got to go get this kid.
Time for action.
Yeah, and he lets Rafe know via the hailer, "Hey man, you screwed me over." He's got Berlin. If we don't find her, it's both our asses. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna have blood on our hands. But when we were watching this scene, I couldn't help but ask, how is it that we have video technology and we can spy on people, we have wireless cameras, but no one can intercept a hailer frequency and catch Nolan and Rafe
Right, having this-
colluding?
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Because hailers are actually a complicated series of cans and strings, and so you would have to attach another string
And be able
a
to
third
get
string
in there
to
and
it,
hear it with the
then
string.
Hear it with your third can.
Yeah.
For more on
very
hailer
difficult.
science, you can check Jesse Klein's Tumblr page where
Yeah.
he has outlined the diagrams of how
Many
they work.
blueprints.
Many
The more you
blueprints.
know.
The
Yeah.
more you know. So, you know, they get down there and they find Joseph, and there's a struggle.
Of course, they find him conveniently.
Yes,
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
So convenient.
Perfect. Such great timing.
He was just about to kill Berlin.
Just
Was.
just about to kill him.
After, by the
2
way,
minutes later,
Berlin
too late.
Berlin escaped her shackles and was like putting up a fight again. At this point, I had written down, this guy is real bad at pointing guns at someone. Because
terrible.
he's
Tying him
real
up, too.
bad.
And tying them up, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she was
Because she
escaping.
slipped and she was going to hit him with a hammer. Like, he's just real bad
But
at
it's
his
so,
job.
you know, but it is also so funny that he's really bad at holding gun to somebody, but yet he was an expert marksman, according
know.
to the assessment over at Doc Yule's.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just one... I mean,
So he's great at shooting. He's just terrible at holding a gun.
maybe it was
Yes.
the other guy.
Well, no,
Maybe
he's
the other
terrible
guy.
at deciding when and where to shoot.
But
Yeah.
when he shoots, he's on.
When he
Yeah.
shoots, he's on board.
Okay.
But, you know...
All right, just checking.
Yeah. So Nolan gets in there just in the nick of time. He takes a bullet for Berlin, and Rafe, you know, kind of grabs him, and they lock him in the handcuffs. Rafe takes him outside, and he lets him go. He's like, go to the land coach, be free, and then shoots him. And Graham Greene, man, even like when Joseph is as much of a screw up as he is, Graham Greene starts weeping, and I'm like, damn, that was so hard for Rafe.
Yeah.
Graham Greene's an amazing actor. He made me
Yeah.
buy that moment.
He did.
As ridiculous as
No, it was, but it was sort of
loving
like
Joseph.
he had to
really
like put
is.
him down like that animal, you know,
Yeah, like Old
he's gotta
Yeller.
put him, he's got to put him down.
Yeah.
and it hurts.
Or like mice and
Yeah,
men,
it
you
felt
know?
like
Like,
it.
look at the rabbits,
It was
you know?
the Fredo scene
Look-
from
yeah.
Godfather, Like, it's the same thing. Spoilers if you haven't seen Godfather.
Well, if you haven't seen Godfather, well, that's a
Number
whole
one,
other story,
go
but,
see it,
you know.
America. It's a great movie.
Where
I don't
are they
have to
going to
convince
go
you.
see it?
What about the rest of the world? Why are you holding out on America?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone.
All right.
Anyone can watch
International.
The Godfather.
What
Get
about
your
the
hands on
Canadians?
it. Get your hands
I know
on
they
it.
always get left out.
Canadians are in America.
Or Canadians.
It's North America.
North America.
Okay.
All right.
And South America. You're talking
All
about
right,
everywhere.
people.
But no, like it was one of those scenes where like it was his godson,
Yeah.
and like you're supposed to look after.
But we
No,
all
but I
saw
love
it coming.
that.
I
We did.
mean,
You had to.
he had to do it because if he
That's
let
the thing.
Joseph go again, and Joseph was probably going
Right,
to do something
he's an
stupid
idiot.
again, he's already done enough stupid stuff. He
Right.
screwed up enough.
And
He had to put him out.
and
had to do like
he has now cost Rafe his home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pottinger, he couldn't be satisfied with just, the fact that he was dead, because he didn't get to do it. He didn't get to torture him.
Right.
So he offers...
He didn't get to pee on him.
Yep, an eviction notice to Rafe. Rafe, who was drinking his whiskey, and he already had packed up two suitcases.
Super cool.
I
just
love
like
that. Just
my
chill,
signature,
just hanging
waiting
out.
for it.
Yep.
Throwing back the
He's a
whiskey.
gangster. He's
I love
OG.
him.
Yeah.
He
He's
doesn't mess around.
O-M-F-N-G. All right, folks. I just want to talk really quickly about iTunes, and then we're going to move on. Don't skip ahead. Don't you dare. Even though I talk about it every week, it's because it's super important. So listen up. The best way that you can support AfterBuzz TV is to go to iTunes, rate and review the shows that you watch or that you listen to on our channel. Here's why. Because our sponsors, our wonderful sponsors who keep our lights on and our doors open, they find us and they evaluate which shows to sponsor based on the feedback. So the more feedback you give us and the more positive that it is, the more money we have and the easier it is for us to continue to provide between 60 and 70 hours of free after show content every single week. So it doesn't cost you a dime. It just takes a second to do, and it means the world. It also means that we know that you like this show and that we're doing a good job for you, that we're giving you the best possible Defiance podcast that you could possibly have. So if there's something you feel like, maybe we're not covering as well, you let us know. Then we can improve on it. It's all we need to do. So go there, rate, review the shows that you watch on YouTube, listen to on iTunes, on Stitcher. It means the world. And hey, if for whatever reason you don't have iTunes or you don't have access to it, why don't you just shoot us an email and let us know we're doing a good job. Just go to info@AfterBuzzTV.com, send that email, let us know. We appreciate it. We love you. And we'll keep doing the shows.
That's right.
All right?
Win, win, win.
All right. Now, on the other side of the coin, we mentioned The Godfather. And The Godfather himself has come home. Mr. Datak Tar, okay,
Nice.
has come home.
Real quick before we get into that,
yeah.
we missed the Amanda doing drugs with Pottinger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
And,
that's a good
yeah.
And
We're gonna get there,
all
yeah.
the rape stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
'Cause that's gonna be
yeah.
important. Yeah.
So Amanda and Pottinger continue to get closer, and Pottinger reveals to Amanda that when the Votans invaded, he was at a boarding school, like a kind of a religious boarding school, and when the Votans arrived, they locked them in a chapel for 11 days with no food and no clothes and no shelter. And they were crawling around on broken glass, pissing and pooing everywhere. And then, apparently, just to cap things off, a Votan, according to Pottinger, raped him, took his innocence in this chapel, and it's a very disturbing scene, and it kind of gets a sense of why he maybe is a bit the way he is, and why he can be so cruel, and we haven't necessarily seen him be more cruel to Votans and humans, which is why it's so curious to me that this is his backstory.
And it's also like kind of hard to believe in a way because of his. I don't know. You always feel like he's saying things to elicit response because he's good.
Because he's trying to draw.
Yes,
attention.
he's very good with manipulating and everything.
Well, look, I mean, the first experience that we had from him from episode 1 and even this one is him using propaganda.
Right.
Him,
Right.
Him
Yeah.
just being very, very dramatic.
Right.
So, and never mind the fact that at this point also he has sent Nolan away, willing to send him 500 clicks away. Set to on this mission to get Joseph, to get the his stuff back. So here's a perfect moment for him to start bonding some more with Amanda.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw out a theory.
Throw it out, man.
So we're wondering, why would Pottinger throw out a fake rape story, and how would he know that this would elicit a reaction from Miss Amanda Rosewater? As we see later in the episode, Amanda tells Pottinger you know, I was raped in New York. Last season, she told, we found out that she had aborted Connor's baby, or we thought it was Connor's baby.
Right.
And it was the reason why her relationship collapsed, why she left New York and came to Defiance. And it turns out it wasn't his baby at all. She had been raped by a man with a flashlight. She couldn't see his face on the street. And when she realized that she was pregnant, she aborted that baby, and she kind of lost everything. She had to start over.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, based on Pottinger's reaction to her story, I think it was Pottinger, and
Well,
maybe
yeah.
that's a stab
Well,
in
no,
the dark.
I kind of think that way too, because he knew, kind of going back to that manipulating, like he knew that
Yeah.
it might have been her, and so this was a way of maybe figuring out for sure that it was her, because he would come up
and it
with
would
this rape
explain
story.
why he's so obsessed with her.
Right,
Yeah,
and
never
explain
mind,
the
yeah,
rape story and see if she would
The
respond to
camera
that.
in her bedroom. I mean, before anything else has happened, him wanting to work with her for so damn long.
Yeah.
It
No,
No,
kinda
I
makes some sense, okay.
definitely think it could be, and that's why he did the rape story, to see if she would bite and say something.
And him going all high school on Nolan.
Yeah.
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 Also, the reason why Pottinger wanted those drills so badly is because some of the packages were drugs that he then got to do with Amanda. So, like, there's a lot of threads going on.
There are, and that's a way of
Yeah.
getting closer to someone too. You
Yeah.
know?
Using drugs.
Let's do drugs
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those that do drugs together stay together.
Also, I'm just gonna say it, even though maybe it's crass to say now that we're also positing that Pottinger is a rapist, but dude's cut. Okay, when he took off his shirt out in the Badlands,
It was the wrong time to say this.
it is the wrong time to say it.
Poor taste.
Very poor taste, and I apologize. It was the wrong time to say it,
Yeah.
and I'm regretting it. But shocked to discover that the man has a build to him.
He does.
And I would not have expected it. So kudos to the actor
Don't
that
worry,
plays him.
they're just gonna edit it so you say that when we're talking about the raid,
Yep.
and then they'll just make it so we go straight into the next thing.
Yeah, there's
It will be-
editing.
yeah,
we
it'll be
edit our
safely
shows.
edited.
No, we
Edited-
don't.
Yeah.
It is
Partially edited.
It
with
has
the way we
never
talk.
ever happened.
No, they are edited. This is
That's
the
right now.
best. What you get is the best of all of our
Never
material. We do
happened.
we do a 2-hour show,
And it's cut back
and
to
then it's
45
cut.
minutes.
Greatest
45
hits.
minutes.
All right,
It's
we
our
got to talk
greatest
about the TARS. We don't have a ton of time. So, Datak has returned, and he's thrown his whole household into disarray. He at first, when we kind of see Stama, and she's got kind of this like rope dress, I thought she was tied up in bed. First of all, and she's like, you know, profits were up 20% while you were gone. I should be a partner in your business.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we live in a new world. She kind of throws it back at him. He says, you know, we live in a, I don't remember what the Castathan phrase was. He says something, a new world, which I'm like, she knows it means a new world. She's a Castathan. That's kind of weird that you would repeat that to your wife.
I think it was for us.
It was for us.
They employ subtitles.
I know, but it was. That's what I had to get from that.
I
too.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, she
Silly.
throws it back at him. Yeah, we do live in a new world. So make me your partner. Let's embrace that new world and have a business together. And he's like, no, never. No. And instead, he makes Alak his new best buddy. And he's like, we're going to rule this town together. You know, I had always seen a different path for you. But now that you murdered someone, nope, there's no way that you can get out of the business. You committed a murder, so now you're not going to do records, you're going to do crimes.
in a really cool scene where he's like eating this huge breakfast while Alak isn't eating anything, which is like a huge power move, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like it feels like it's out of
Absolutely.
like There Will Be Blood or something like that, where he's just like has this power move of eating like all this food and talking with
Yeah.
his mouth full at Alak and like and saying like, oh, I thought you were gonna be a nice family man, have a real job, be a pillar in the community, all the things that Alak wants.
Yeah.
Is like, but nope, you're my blood,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be
You're terrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna be in this family
You
business.
killed
forever.
someone to protect your chupping mom, who is just the worst right now. So, yeah.
She is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
The worst.
The worst. So obviously Alak is really, really upset by this. They go to the fight tent, and Datak kind of confronts all of his cronies, and is like, you know, you guys all suck. You all betrayed me. So now I'm gonna have to teach one of you. I'm gonna teach
you
one
all
of
a
you.
lesson.
Teach you all a lesson by killing one of you. Alak, who should it be? Should it be Guillermo? Should it be, you know, any of these guys? And Alak does something unexpected. He's like, no, kill me. Go ahead. I'm the one who let Mom do it. Come on, kill me, Dad. And Datak looks at him, so proud, and then whips around and kills one of the other guys. And it's just like everyone's like, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
We
no one's
followed
happy.
this guy? Business was running so well while he was in prison. I think I was happy for the first time in my life.
Yeah, I don't think the Tars are the only one realizing that it's a new world. And I think they're realizing that they don't have to do what he's doing.
What he's doing
yeah,
anymore. Yeah, they don't have to listen to him.
Yeah, we can be civilized.
Yeah.
So then Alak takes Datak to the tar tracks printing area, the assembly line, and Alak actually looks on a little bit with pride, or at least with interest. It's like, wow, you made it with all reclaimed parts, you got it for nothing, and now you're selling all these records for cash. This is good. I was going to burn it down, but no, we shall keep it as a front for our criminal enterprise.
Yeah.
Great.
And he also says that he's proud of Alak because he thought when Alak was sacrificing himself that it was a manipulation. When I think it was true. I think Alak was saying, like, it's my fault. It wasn't, like, to manipulate the men to follow him.
Right. Well, it was really more of a challenge to his dad than a manipulation of the men.
Yeah.
It was really like, you know, you really want to kill someone? Kill me,
Stand
Dad.
up to his dad.
Like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You know? But in any case, Datak is like, well, I still need to punish you. So he shoves his hand into the still hot record printer.
If you're going to use a record press, turn it off when you're done.
That's right, kids.
That's how industrial
It
accidents
is.
happen.
And not only that, but you save electricity here.
Yeah.
It should be ice cold.
Come on. Gotta save electricity.
Also, I'm pretty sure that it was a waffle press.
Yeah.
It looked like a waffle
did.
press.
Looked
to me.
pretty waffly.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me hungry for waffles now, but...
Yeah.
So Christy is obviously not thrilled by this. She's like, your dad is a psychopath. We got to do something about it. And Alak is like, no, you're not Casty. You don't get it. You don't get it, babe.
So he's just getting caught into that whole manipulation thing, like
Babe,
being
you don't get
abused,
it.
and it's like, oh, but it was my fault.
Yeah. Stama sees it, and she is incensed. And ultimately leading us to this final sequence where, so she goes to confront Datak in the chapel, in a new room that we've never seen in the White House, with these cool kind of candelabra things.
Yeah, lots of candles.
And Datak, who once said that he would spit on the... oh, speaking of spitting, we didn't talk about the EREP guys
need to
who
talk about
stopped
that.
them in the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was awesome.
That was.
Yeah, so these EREP guys stop Datak and Alak, and they say that they worked for Colonel Marsh, and they're trying to provoke Datak into getting his parole revoked.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty great
They do.
job.
They do a really good job.
They treat him like crap. We see him reach for his charge blade, and then he keeps reaching. He pulls out the handkerchief, and we find out that these guys were hired by Stama.
Yeah.
And she's just furious because it's like, well, now you learn self-control, you idiot. I
Yeah.
worked so hard to get you into the mayorship, and you ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, you know, she says you would have spat on this Bible back in the day, and he's like, well, you know, I found it while I was in prison, and I looked through it, and I found some interesting things. I'm trying to remember what those interesting things were.
It was about like it was a lot of like punishment themes.
Right, it was about
And,
the
like,
authority, and you
Yeah.
can tell the society that they're from is very patriarchal, and
Yeah.
it gets into what his dad did, because she's like, now you become your father.
He's like, he would have done
worse, but
Yeah.
it's...
Well, I was thinking of the actual like
I
he
know,
was
it's-
like I was searching for what collection or like what arrangement of words would make a man like be faithful or something like that. It was a really interesting quote.
And then she was like, wow, they're just words. They're old ancient words. Like,
Yeah.
what do you...
Who cares?
Yeah. Which is kind of a nice... which is a fun little plug against religion right there with her.
Yeah.
But I also thought the thing that was interesting is now that I'm kind of like rooting for her, because now even though she's so manipulative and, you know, she's not good either, she's full of evil things, and she's the one that's sort of been the power behind him to begin with, but now I find myself rooting for her because he's almost to the point where it's like you just want to get rid of him.
We're rooting for her, but we know in a week or two will probably
right,
be...
but you just feel like, God, I know. But it's like right now I'm like, oh, he has to be stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
She
too
may
far
be
overboard.
she may be progressive, but she is still ruthless.
She is, exactly. But I
Yeah.
find myself almost feeling sorry for her that she's having to deal with him, and he's treating all of them like crap.
We were talking about that airlock incident. I'm assuming was not an incident.
No.
Or accident.
Accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not an accident.
No. Well, she basically straight up admitted last week that she threw
She pretty much said it.
the
Yeah, the other week.
Yeah. In any case, they have this meeting in the tent, and Datak thinking that he finally has his family back the way that he wants it, when all of his dudes jump him and just beat the snot out of him at Stama's command, and they throw him out into the street like a bag of garbage.
And I love it. Even before she has to give that one little like serene like my love. Hello, my love.
That's why I love her so much.
My love. You should have made me a partner.
I love that.
She also did a very like a very Datak move where Alak tries to look away and she's like, "Don't you dare look away!
Don't you dare look away."
Yeah. What I love, I just want to touch on this because it really is a theme throughout this whole episode in all the storylines. Is it just seems like everyone is getting punished. Like every action requires a consequence, and there was everybody in this show practically got humiliated in some kind of way or hurt or whatever, and it was to to make up for a misdeed before.
Agreed.
Yeah. So with Joseph, with Pottinger, obviously the most obvious ones with Alak and with Stama and then Datak, but just all up and down the board.
Well, I mean,
Rafe even, he gets punished for whether it's action, whether it's taking action, or whether it's just standing by and not taking action at all.
I love that, especially when you take the title into account, just in terms of burdens. Just people kind of unloading their burdens on each other, using that burden as an excuse for cruelty.
Yeah, and even looking at when you brought up the Castathan Bible, just a very familiar quote that comes to mind, even with this, is an eye for an eye.
Yeah, sure.
Which is a very biblical quote, and it just seems like everyone here is just paying back somebody for something else. It's an eye for an eye world right now, and of course the saying is, if everyone's in an eye for an eye world, everyone ends up blind.
Exactly.
So so that's what we're seeing right now. Really,
all right. Love that.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to talk about some predictions, if that's all right. Is it?
And
Is it all
now,
right? I
your
think it's all right.
AfterBuzz TV
So,
predictions.
next week, few things are happening. We're gonna.
Should we just say anyone who doesn't look at because I had this on one of my other shows. And I was like, I don't even like looking at clips from next week. So
if you
spoiler.
didn't watch the scenes from next week, you don't want to even know anything about it, then you might want to turn it off now. It'd probably
from
be
the
a
next
good
minute
idea.
or two.
Or skip the next minute. Just basically, so what we saw is we're going to see a flashback potentially, or at least a drug trip flashback of Amanda's assault.
I don't think that was a flashback.
You don't think it was? You think he was here?
I don't know.
I think he's here in Defiance.
Yeah.
I felt like
Could
that
be.
didn't feel like a flash. It could be.
You're right. It could be if we're going with the Pottinger thing. It could be.
Rafe, it seems like, has moved into the White House with Christy and her husband, and
now the father-in-law's at the house.
And Stama gets in the tub with him, wondering what that's about. And then by episode's end, apparently, Datak tries to team up with Rafe to take back Defiance. Now that he has nothing, he's going to try to become a good guy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It is.
Completely ridiculous. I don't know if you guys listened to the show that we did last week, but we were kind of talking about a potential theory involving what's going on with the Kolovan and Arissa and all of the people that she quote unquote killed. Now spitting it into more people, and it's this kind of almost virus that's growing. This army that's growing,
and the potential to raise people from the dead, which I was thinking about. They talked about burying those guys out in the woods. There are a lot of bodies out in the woods, including Kenya's, and we've seen that.
Of course, that's how you bring her back into the series.
Oh wow!
We've seen that the virus can repair dead people. Like so,
and that they may not even be their real bodies, but now artificial bodies created by these Kolovan.
Well, we haven't seen anyone rise from the dead. Well, that hasn't been killed by Arissa. That
hasn't been killed by Kolovan to the mouth.
by Kolovan to the mouth. Yeah,
that's true.
So that still leaves question whether or not Kenya would come back, but it's possible. It's not like a zombie
Arissa
anything's possible, right?
shot herself in the head, and then was raised back from the dead, and then also.
Well, she didn't die.
She didn't die.
The Urzu in her head made her miss.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well then, what's her name? The nanny that she killed with knives.
Yeah.
Birdie.
Yeah. She got raised.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or she just
But we don't know how she died.
appeared
But we
from-
don't know how she died because remember there was that whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't know how,
okay,
if.
yeah.
But she was killed by Orisa, as far as we
Yeah.
can imagine. Yeah.
She didn't necessarily kill by knives.
But anyway, no, I would love to see Kenya come back in some
would
capacity.
too.
So it'd be great. But it's just right now it's not like The Walking Dead where you
Right,
die,
right.
you also automatically are
Exactly.
reborn.
Sort of the
Yes.
far-fetched one if she
Yeah.
comes back. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Agreed.
Okay.
What else do we think is going on? What else do we want to see?
I would have predicted Rafe moving into the White House, so I'm glad to see that.
Great.
I just wonder if Datak's gonna survive through the season, or if they're gonna do like because I just feel like something's got to happen with him. Like he's kind of hit rock bottom. Is he gonna be able to come back, or is Stama gonna finally take him out at the end?
I love this idea of a Stama Rafe romance.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading that tiny clip wrong, but
Yeah.
the idea of that is so delicious to me.
It is. No,
That
that
is
would be
really
great
funny.
too to have that right there in the house too. Like how
Ew.
great would that be? Right in the house.
Ah,
Come on.
weird.
Yeah,
Their
just-
kids are married.
That's
Yeah.
all sorts of weird.
Yeah.
Just have it right in the house. Let's just add to the
Hey man,
awkwardness.
he slept with Mayor Nikki, and she was technically an indigene. So
Oh, I
That's
still miss
true.
Mayor Nikki so much. I still want her to come back.
yeah. All right.
Bring her back to
Anything else?
I think.
All right.
That's it.
Okay,
all I
well,
got
I
for
want to
now.
thank you all so much for joining us this week. We'll be back next Thursday with an all-new episode. Jesse Klein, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JessKlein1.
And Scott Moore.
You can find me on the Twitter at SMan80, that's SMan80, and here on Sunday nights for True Blood After Show.
And Nando.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nandovel, Nandovel.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, that's MattLieberman. You can find all my videos for SourceFed and SourceFed Nerd on YouTube, including a nice Emmy nominations wrap-up piece that I did this morning. And you can find me here on AfterBuzz TV on Under the Dome and Marin with Jesse, and what else?
Catch Fire.
A bunch of other
You can find
stuff.
us on
And
podcast.
The Strain and Ray Donovan starting this Sunday. Thank you all so much. See you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.